Hi, today we're going to be looking at what organisms and acellular structures, and remember A meaning not cells, these are just acellular structures, are studied in microbiology. Microscopic biology, study of life, although we also study acellular structures as well. And I'll begin with prokaryotic cells. And prokaryotic is a term that is being phased out. However, I do still like to use it since it tells you what that cell looks like, meaning it's before the nucleus. So we will not see a nucleus in a prokaryotic cell, and that's different than a eukaryotic cell. And eukaryotes are named because they have a true nucleus, or with a nucleus. And that's different than some of the acellular structures. And specifically, these are going to include viruses and prions. All right, so let's look at those cells in more detail. When we look at these, we will see that before the nucleus, there is not a need for the nucleus in these prokaryotic cells since they only have a single circular chromosome compared to eukaryotes have DNA in multiple linear chromosomes. And viruses can have multiple or single fragments of nucleic acid. It can either be DNA or RNA. And a distinguishing feature of prions is they do not have any DNA. They are just protein. So just protein. All right, let's try to draw a little picture of these. And we'll see prokaryotic cells I will typically draw in the shape of a rod, although they come in many different sizes and shapes. Same with eukaryotic cells, lots of diversity. However, I will typically draw those as something of a circle. And viruses, my standard prototype is a hexagon because they can come in geometric shapes and sizes. And prions are just those alpha helices and beta sheets that we find in proteins. So I'll draw those alpha helices and beta sheets like this. All right, I mentioned that prokaryotic cells do have a single circular chromosome versus eukaryotic cells have multiple linear chromosomes. And these do take organization to divide equally among the daughter cells. And that is likely a reason why they were compartmentalized in a nucleus. When we look at acellular viruses, they may have one or multiple fragments of nucleic acid. And then I mentioned no DNA found in prions. All right, finally, we'll look at examples of each of these. So when we're looking at prokaryotic cells, a good example to remember would be bacteria. And examples of bacteria that you're likely familiar with would be something like E. coli or Staphylococcus aureus, which is the etiologic agent of many staph infections. The other major cell type that we see in the prokaryotic cell would be the archaea. And the thing you need to remember about these is they are very archaic, very old. Eukaryotic cell examples would be animal cells, such as us humans, but also plant cells, fungal cells, and protistans. And viruses, most common now would be flu or influenza. And one that has been in the headlines quite a bit would be Zika virus. And prions, probably the name that you associate with prions would be something like mad cow disease. In humans, we call this Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. So I'm just going to abbreviate that as CJD. So, Creutzfeldt-Jakob in humans.